Congratulations on your new Volkswagen Atlas Cross Sport. I'm here to help you make it truly yours, from what you see while you're driving to what it feels like to drive. I'll help you customize your Atlas Cross Sport and point out some great features you may not have yet discovered. I have Linda here to help me. Let's start with one of my favorite features. With all the great cargo space you can use, your hands are sometimes going to be full. No problem. You can open the rear hatch with a quick kick. Call it an extension of your leg. With the fob on you, just make sure your foot reaches a little under the bumper. You'll know your Atlas Cross Sport has seen you because the rear light will flash. Then you have a beat, a second or two, to step back out of the way before the hatch opens. To close, simply press here. Linda, do you have kids?
3 little ones.
Well, so you don't have to worry about them getting out of your Atlas Cross Sport before you're ready for them, you can set your rear doors to be in child-proof lock mode all the time. Just pull the key out of the top of your fob and insert it into this slot on each door and turn. Do it once and it's done, until you use the key again to unlock them. That way you won't accidentally change the setting. You'll also be glad to know that when your windows are going up, they'll reverse on their own if something, like a child's arm or a favorite toy, is between the top of the window frame and the glass. And if your Volkswagen has been out in the sun for a long time and you want to let fresh air in as quickly as possible, you can lower all the windows at once by pressing and holding the unlock button on your fob. Just one of the cool things you can do with your keyless entry. Okay, let's go inside. As you know, the infotainment screen is where you can set all your preferences for music, for navigation, how you want your Kessie keyless entry to work. For example, unlocking all the doors or just the driver's door. All your preferences can be set from here. You'll note that there's a setting button in the lower right corner of the screen. It lets you quickly customize any of the functions you're in. On SEL and SEL Premium models, your driver assistance and IQ Drive features can be customized too. Easily choose which driver assistance features are engaged. Press the button at the end of the turn signal to bring up your options. You can turn features like lane assist off and on from your steering wheel. The SEL and SEL Premium have another one of my favorite features, the ability to set the tilt down feature of your passenger side rear view mirror. It adjusts downward when you're in reverse to give you a better look at what's immediately behind you. Set it once and it remembers. And when you shift back to drive, the mirror returns to where you had it. Here's a hint. When you're not adjusting your mirrors, keep the knob in the R for right position to always have the tilt down feature operating when you're in reverse. And speaking of mirrors, they heat up to defrost as well, automatically, whenever you use the rear window defrost button. From the infotainment center, it's easy to set up your Volkswagen digital cockpit. You'll see a depiction of your instrument cluster and options for what information you'd like displayed within the traditional speed and RPM dials. Things like elevation, compass, range, and time to destination. You can also choose what information will be displayed in the center of the digital cockpit, or choose a completely different display mode. You can even have your navigation displayed right in the digital cockpit. In short, you can customize based on what is important to you. Below the infotainment center is where you can charge your compatible mobile device. Just place it face up here. You can connect Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatible devices wirelessly with App Connect. There are also 2 USB-C ports for both charging and data transfer, and more USB-C charging-only ports in the rear. And since your Atlas Cross Sport really is a family car, you can have 2 phones connected and choose the one you want to display. If you prefer to talk to your Volkswagen, you can activate voice commands from the steering wheel, letting you adjust things like your audio and navigation. Depending on where you're driving or just your mood, you can also change your drive mode. Press the button on this knob on your console to toggle through Eco, Normal, Sport, or Custom drive modes. You'll see each on your infotainment screen, where you can also choose and save the settings for your custom driving mode. The same knob, when turned, lets you adjust your 4Motion all-wheel drive to the terrain you're on. There are 4 choices: Snow, On-Road, the default setting, Off-Road, and Off-Road Custom, where once again you can choose settings that let your Atlas Cross Sport optimize traction and stability. Remember, a button push changes your drive mode, while turning the knob controls your 4Motion mode. You may also have noticed that the engine automatically turns off when you stop and restarts when you release the brake pedal, which is designed to reduce fuel usage. That's a big reason most people love it. But if you don't want this feature working, you can disable it here. But each time you turn off your Volkswagen, the start-stop feature is reactivated upon starting again. 2 more quick things. Your Atlas Cross Sport knows when your hands are on the wheel. It can try alerting in several ways: sounds, vibrations, and braking. And if there's no response from you, it can slow down and come to a complete stop in its lane and notify the proper emergency personnel. And if you ever need to call for help and you're registered with CarNet, there's a big red button here for emergency assist. So as always, do keep your hands on the wheel. It's even heated if you want it to be. Just press this button here. Speaking of which, the Climatronic controls here let you turn on and off the heated seats and let you see and set the temperature throughout the interior. That's just some of what you can do to make your Volkswagen even more enjoyable to drive.